afternoon, and welcome to this reading of my new short story, Angel of the North. It's a story that's about a successful young rock singer, aged about 20, and she's invited back to her school, which is in a place called Wallsend, near Newcastle, Gateshead, and she's invited back to open a new music suite because she's become very famous. But she has a secret, a gift, that must be returned to someone who is working at the school. Before I actually read you the story, just a little bit of background. It's amazing where you get your ideas from. And two musicians, very fine musicians that I follow, happen to be touring the north of England, around Gateshead, and they tweeted that they had just passed the Angel of the North, which is this fantastic sculpture by Anthony Gormley that overlooks the A1, the A167, and the East Coast Main Line. And Gormley explains it as a structure that is about significance. The miners worked for 2 centuries beneath, in the hills beneath, etc. The transition from industrial to information age, and so on and so on. To me, the sculpture, which is a fantastic thing, is about the desire to progress and to take flight as a person. But that's what I think it is. And I'm not sure we need an explanation for anything, really, or everything. So the Angel of the North for me is very symbolic, and when I had this reference from the musicians who were Emma Tricker and Robin Hitchcock as they were passing by, it did make me think about what it would be like if someone who actually went to school close by actually did go back and meet all the teachers and her fellow students. And so I came up with this idea of someone called Angel North. Not quite her real name. Angel is her Christian name, and I've taught a couple of angels in the course of my teaching career. This photo that you can see was suggested to me by Lucy Atkinson, and I'm hopeless at dressing characters. So we used this particular photograph from a fashion website called Lucy and Yak to try and get an image of what Angel North might actually look like. And it was this image that we actually used to develop the character. Just further down, you can see the main characters there. Angel herself, her famous album Lockdown Blues, big success. She's a Gemini, in fact. And Wahaj, who is from a Middle Eastern family, he was a student actually at the school that she goes to, Wallsend Academy, and he is now a teaching assistant and trained to be a teacher. And Brenton Bramwell, I think you'll like him. He's someone I used to teach, and I've never forgotten the experience. So the location, Wallsend Academy, Newcastle upon Tyne. Think of your school, and it would be just like that. The story starts with Angel on the train, the Newcastle Express, as she passes by. Hope you enjoy it. Angel of the North. Angel North glanced at the vast winged sculpture as the Newcastle Express streaked across the level plains and turfy fields of the Northumberland countryside. The monument's tilted arms stretched taut in divine entreaty, its steel face eyeless and feet rooted deep in ancient mine workings. Angel saw the land rising as a wave to northern crags and fells beyond the glittering River Tyne, a jagged steel pin driven into England's flank, spiralling up to Kielder Burn and the rugged Cheviot Hills under the rising autumn sun. As she watched, Angel felt her being slowly disengage from London's smothering embrace and choking fingers. A car would be waiting for her at Newcastle's grey Victorian station. "Something special for you, babe," her agent had said. "You'll love it, and your guitar amp will be set up for you. Enjoy it." Angel's mother, Rose, had given her the name while lying alone and destitute in the Gateshead maternity unit. It was her only meaningful gesture to a world that was harsh and grim and unloving and offered no hope. What would she think now as her daughter arrived at Wallsend Academy in a 1930 Daimler Drophead coupe, creating something of a stir as it majestically swung into the staff car park. Angel stepped from the Daimler's interior, blinking in the bright sun. All eyes were drawn to the purple hair, charcoal Lucy Yak dungarees, black boots, and purple hoodie. Miss Starling, the principal, adorned in autumnal tones that melded perfectly with her office furniture, shook hands with this slender, chic woman. She possessed, Miss Starling noticed, the most startling green eyes beneath the flying violet and plum tresses, but was, she felt, strangely uncertain. Angel's eyes flickered nervously across the ranks of assembled staff and students, whose blazers and coats were whipped by the unrelenting northern winds that scurried across the tarmac, hoisting crisp packets and drying autumn leaves into a frantic tumult. It was the restlessness, it was the relentlessness of the sea gales and the splendour of the northern skies' auroras that had been the theatrical counterpoint to Angel's young life on the Wallsend housing estate, and provided the frenzied emotions and unquiet music that had inspired her to write. She had played the guitar and piano relentlessly to herself, her only audience, after the death of her mother, to the quivering anger and urgency that had stalked her each day. Music was her only antidote to this perpetual haunting, at once menacing and energizing. Now, as she stood, feeling the lash of the whipping winds, she wondered if she had been right to come. But she had something to return. It had to be done. The grey doors of the Wallsend Music Suite unfolded as petals, exposing the inner sanctum of stage and performance space. The school's house banners fluttered up towards the steel atrium that allowed light to pour into the little auditorium of cushioned chairs and steel grey carpet. Angel walked towards the platform. As promised, the Fender Hellcat sat upright on its mojo frame, the Yamaha amp with its twin speakers mounted on stands, impassive, silent witnesses. The Newman microphone, angled like a dockyard crane, awaited. Amid a shuffling of feet, an audience of young and old assembled and slipped into their seats. Angel strode into the magic crucible of performance. She looked down at the faces, unknowing and wide-eyed. Good afternoon. You might know this song. It's called Sister Mary. It's about something that happened to a friend of mine. Angel sang perfectly, holding the pathos of the song in her hand, her guitar playing, crystalline and shimmering. Sister Mary strays the riverbank, she walks alone, casting into waters her virgin stone. Will the sunlight break her secret as she quietly kneels? Sister Mary, tell me in the morning how you feel. Does she still love? Does she still desire? Does her heart inside burn just like a raging fire? Does her life breathe on like the silent depths of a wishing well? Sister Mary, tell me in the morning how you feel. Does she feel me now, far away and yet so near? I'll be here every day, and I hope that you will hear the last few words I have to say to you. Sister Mary, if the singing ever tires your voice, if the incense fails to fix your mind on to rejoice, if when bells are tolling your heart no longer leaps to their peal, Sister Mary, tell me in the morning how you feel. Before her performance, Angel had gazed upon an audience of agog teachers and children, all of whom appeared to be badly in need of a holiday. The spluttering children and staff coughed and sniffed as tactfully as they could, but by the end they were mesmerized. They burst into a torrent of applause. The children rising to their feet, hands above their heads, eyes shining in admiration. This was one of their own, a Wallsend girl making good. She had escaped and had returned in triumph to consecrate this cultural chapel and to claim it as her own. I cannot tell you how amazing it is to be standing here, Angel said. I didn't know whether I should come back. I have so many memories. Not all are good. And there's a special reason I must keep as a secret for now. I can only speak the wise words my music teacher, Miss Hackett, spoke to me just before she retired. In fact, they were always written above her desk. Music gives a soul to the universe, wings to the mind, flight to the imagination, and life to everything. I think that's true. She also said to me, the only truth is music, and I believe that too. The children beamed, and the staff held their breath. Listen to your teachers, children. Miss Hackett was old, grumpy, and brilliant, and I owe her everything. Your teachers aren't celebrities. They don't dress in high fashion. They're women and men who love you and want you to change the world. They're the crucibles of genius. Another wave of applause engulfed the room. Angel stepped forward from behind the microphone and stood on the edge of the stage. The young faces hushed, gazing upward in awe. As a working-class girl from Wallsend, here among my community, my roots, my people, it gives me great pleasure to declare the Angel North Music Suite open. An ovation of clapping and cheering broke out as a wave across the auditorium. One child burst from the throng and ran to the stage before embracing Angel and presenting her with flowers. Put that down, Brenton. You know it just annoys the teachers. Brenton pursed his lips, his eyes focusing on the Rubik's Cube that spun in his hands, his fingers frenziedly twisting and working. No, I'm on. Got it, yes! Brenton Bramwell grinned. Friedrich method, sir. Don't call me sir. I'm only a TA, said Wahaj. Can we do maths now, Brenton? The freckled grin returned to Brenton's face. Just have been. You know it's like that thing, sir. I said, don't. What thing? That thing with wings, sir, when you took us. You said it was about the miners and the Industrial Revolution and our hopes and stuff. Yes, said Wahaj. But it ain't, sir. It's like the cube. Solving it, sir. You don't have to have a puzzle, do you, sir? You mean the Angel of the North? I guess not. But why? That artist, Gormley bloke, that were all rubbish. He just wanted to make an angel with big wings. He wanted to fly. Kinda netty that like. But weren't no algorithm. Wahaj studied Brenton's chubby face, the smear of dirt on his cheek, the toothy grin, the bulky black blazer that was too big for him, the bright button eyes, the stubby little nose. Aye up, sir. What's that reckon? I reckon you need to stop playing with that thing at the start of every lesson. It just means you get sent to sanctuary and learn nothing. Nay, sir. Don't like lessons. They're cacky. Learn lots with these, sir. Know loads of stuff. Wahaj smiled. You do. And that woman, that singer, Angel North, is she really here? Yes. They reckon she used to go to Wallsend. Right canny lass. Your sort, sir. You were at the school then. Bet you kissed her. She's opening the new music suite. A room. Why call it a suite, sir? Macking another puzzle. Okay. It's a big room with grey carpet, a stage and posh chairs, with lots of little studios in it. Can I play my dad's trumpet in there, sir? Of course. Brenton grinned. Bell's gone, sir. I'm clamming for me bait. Go get some food, Brenton. Maths after break. No more cube. Okay. Wahaj watched Brenton barge through the classroom door and to join the corridor throng. A William Blake poster depicting Oberon and Titania became detached and floated to the floor. Rahaj reworked the blue tack and pressed the poster back onto the glass panel, leaving only a small gap around the edge for children's faces to peek into the room. Wahaj sighed. Angel North. Angel Blenkinsop, that was. They had held hands in the bus shelter. They had shared a Mars bar and kissed stickily behind the caretaker's hut as the rain fell in grey columns. But they didn't care. Wahaj had watched Angel play netball, blonde hair flying, and she had smiled at the attention. But then she had appeared in Hamlet. All the boys fancied her. Angel played Ophelia, did the mad scene, finger-picked guitar, sports captain, head girl. The teachers all spoke of her admiringly. That girl, going places. She stopped seeing Wahaj. In the school corridors, her eyes swept past him in search of more stimulating horizons. He saw her meeting a boy in the park. He wore an expensive dark leather jacket. Wahaj heard she was playing at the Metro Club, but he couldn't get a ticket. He stood outside in the drizzle, straining to look above the throng by the stage door. Couldn't get near her, past the wall of arty hangers-on. Wahaj flicked open the maths workbook, but memories had slipped impishly between its leaves and sent images flying across his vision. He felt his fingers magically slide through his hair. Her hand caressed his cheek. Is that a beard? I don't like it. I love your face. It's the colour of olives. And Wahaj was miraculously looking at her shimmering image in the workbook, her cheek as porcelain white as the page. I wish, he said aloud, and glanced uncertainly at the door. Brenton would be back soon. He looked back at the page, and she was gone. Angel stood in Miss Starling's office, where she had so often been admonished for her makeup, ragged uniform, and her attitude towards Mr. Burke, the creepy business studies teacher, who always wanted to discuss her work and asked if she was all right. She had memorably told him to fuck off. Now it was all different. The furniture was unchanged, but the aura of money and success induced a canine heat of sexuality and envy in the assembled company of bald male business owners and stressed middle-class wives, circling like old Labradors to imbibe the scent of stardom and luxuriate in the pungent aroma of cash. Angel searched among their ranks for a sign of honesty and comprehension of what she had created, someone who would grasp and discuss her work and how it related to her life and her world. But pallid coffee, coronation chicken sandwiches, and Garibaldi biscuits couldn't elevate this encounter to one of understanding and enrichment. Even so, she knew, in this desert of G-plan, plastic yuccas, and galloping influenza, there lay a trembling heart and soul. In the arid conversation, she strained to listen for a distant, vibrating, urgent voice. Was he still here? Miss Starling, Adele's spectacles perched on her aquiline nose, fluttered across the study and refilled Angel's cup from an aluminium teapot. It must be so wonderful to travel. You must go to so many exciting places. Angel responded bleakly. A hotel is a hotel, an airport an airport. But an audience that wants to hear you is like nothing else. It's like a teacher who's really listening. If you want an audience, come perform at my club. Councillor Tipple, the chair of governors, ran a purple tongue along his shaggy cowboy moustache. He was the proprietor of the Stagecoach Rodeo Bar, hardly positioned in Gateshead Market. Howdy! Tipple had, famously, initiated a stampede for the bar at the PTA's summer ball, with his rendition of Love Me Tender, dressed in cowboy boots, full-fringed jacket, rhinestone waistcoat, and a groaning leather belt with a silver buckle that struggled to contain his girth. Angel beamed. Not my genre, I'm afraid, but thank you. More shortbread? Miss Starling proffered a tartan biscuit tin. No, thank you, said Angel. She breathed deeply and looked down. Is there anything else I can do? Well, there is one thing you could do for me, Miss Starling. Miss Starling smiled obsequiously. Of course. I want to thank one of your colleagues. I owe him a great debt of gratitude. One of our staff? Who's that? Mr. Wahaj. Wahaj, oh yes, one of our teaching assistants. He stood in to be a teacher. He was a student here. Indeed. I have some of his property that I need to return personally. If I could spend a few moments with him, that would be perfect. Brenton grasped the biro between his stubby fingers and bent over his exercise book. He removed his round spectacles and rubbed them with his handkerchief. I hope, sir, I'm fed up with this maths. Making my eyes go funny. Wahaj was sitting on the corner of Brenton's desk and smiled down affectionately at the boy's tousled hair. You've done loads, Brenton. How are you managing with those glasses? Oh, I didn't like these specs, sir. They messed up. My mates call me foggy goggles. Well, they look great on you, and you're learning. Brenton wasn't listening. He was looking past Wahaj at the figure standing in the doorway. Bloody hell! It's her! Wahaj turned. All the pain and grief and sorrow he had felt, and had spent years in trying to subdue, returned in an instant. But he was also deeply moved at the woman's hesitancy, her sense of standing on a precipice, of uncertainty, of some profound need. She spoke. Miss Starling said I might find you here. Transfixed, Wahaj stood up. Mr. Wadger's always here, miss, said Brenton. Are you that woman, that Angel Northbird? Angel stepped forward. Yes, I am. I was hoping. What did you say your teacher's name was? Oh, Mr. Wadger. Oh, that was because he dyed his hair for the school panto. It all went wrong. He was meant to be a tiger, looked like a badger, so we called him Wadger. Wahaj looked down. Angel smiled and reverted to her Wallsend accent. Aye, but he's been a right fine teacher, eh? Eh, that's weird, that. So posh on telly, but thou speaks like us. Brenton, you've worked so hard. I think you can go home a little early today. How's that? Oh, great. Cheers, sir. Suppose you want to be alone, eh? Brenton winked and looked at Angel. Canny, lass. Go on, sir. Give her a cuddle. You've had a great day, Brenton. Don't spoil it. Now, on your bike. Brenton grinned and grabbed his bag and parka. See you, Wadger, he said, scuttling through the door. Seems a great kid. The worrying thing about Brenton is he seems to be able to read my mind. Wahaj looked at Angel. She averted her eyes and was trembling. I love that song, by the way, Sister Mary. Angel smiled ruefully. It's just a song about another girl who makes the wrong decision. Yes, when I heard it, I thought of well, Wahaj was suddenly struggling with a desire to hold Angel. Look, perhaps I shouldn't be here, but I just had to. Angel bit her lip and shivered. Are you married? Wahaj shook his head. With someone? No. There have been, but no one. No one. Angel moved closer, her hands reaching out for him. No one. But I need you to have someone. I need to know there's someone else. She grasped his shirt and gazed anxiously into his face. No one. I'd never wanted to. But there must have been someone. There was, wasn't there? No. No one who mattered. Or me to them. No. So what do you do now? I live alone. Alone? Yes. And I dream. Of what? Who? They heard the sound of running feet in the corridor. Wahaj turned and caught the sight of Brenton's grinning face in the door window and heard laughter. Look, I'm going to have to lock the door if we're going to talk like this. Okay. Okay. Wahaj turned the key in the lock. We're okay for a bit, but I can't keep this door closed for long. Angel drew him close again. So, you have no one? No one? A gasp of pain escaped her lips, and her arms grasped his waist. Why? 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 I need to know why. Look, we can't just stand here. I'm at work. Someone might come. He looked anxiously at the door. The walls are like paper. Let's keep our voices down. He held her waist delicately and guided her into the corner by the book cupboard. Angel gasped gently at his touch, looked into his eyes. I still need to know. Why? Because I just couldn't. Without you, I was a fake. I faked it and tried to believe, but I was lying, and I knew. And I wasn't going to mislead anyone, pretend to love. Just couldn't. Her green eyes startled, her gaze penetrating, all-seeing. Did you think I'd come back? No, yes, no. I had faith, but I never expected this. I watched, listened, loved from afar, from my room, my tablet, my phone, and I prayed. Prayed? Yes, I go to church. It helps me. I like someone talking to me about life once a week on a Sunday. It doesn't mean I believe anything. It just moves me forward. Until now. Hold me, Angel whispered. Wahaj hesitated. Hold me. I insist. I'm breaking. I'm broken. Her arms wrapped around his shoulders. I'm so tired. So tired of not being me. You made me happy. Then I wanted more, not to be me. And it's made me miserable. I'm so miserable. And I knew I needed to see you. Angel flung herself forward, her arms grasping Wahaj's shoulders, the purple storm of her hair flinging across his face. It's so good to hold you again. Wahaj kissed her cheek. I wasn't expecting this. I thought you would visit and be gone. Just some PR stunt, and I would just stand, watching, like before. Angel stroked his face. Still got that beard. I like it better now. But I have to give you this. She reached into her hoodie pocket and produced a tiny case. It's your ring. You gave it me. She gazed into his eyes, searching his features. Tears tumbled down her face. I was 15. You pledged your love. I did. But you feel differently now. You know how I feel. You know. I hope you haven't come back to taunt me. I couldn't bear it. Believe me. I'm returning this ring to you, Angel said decisively, and placed the case in his hand. There. They stood apart. Oh, right. It's yours. I gave it to you. No, it's yours. She pressed it into his hand and closed his fingers around the case. Okay. But she wheeled away from him and stood on the other side of his desk. But if you should want to give it me again, I just might say yes. She crossed to a display and contemplated a child's drawing of an elderly couple holding hands. Might? Maybe? Must I live on the edge? Yes, you must, until you ask me. It was only a cheap ring. I know. I bought it at the market. More valuable than the gems of Ind. So, are you going to ask me? I don't know. I'm not ready. Can't we talk? We're talking. We are talking. Don't I get the chance to woo you again? Woo! Jeez, come on. Or I shall be gone into the great forever. The barren moon of the universe, the sea of tranquility, or the sea of clouds, or the Oceanus Procularum, which is the ocean of storms. And I will die there. I will be gone. Among stars I will perish. For now, I've returned, fallen back to planet Earth. What is it to be, Wahaj? Angel smiled ruefully. Mr. Wadger. Did it mean nothing? She stood defiantly, hands on hips, daring him to act. We Geminis are smart, sharp, and needy. I can't wait. Be my twin. Wahaj opened the case. The thin gold ring glowed, the twin bullets of the Dioscuri gleaming from the bezel. Someone tried the door handle. Brenton's impish eyes peeped under the poster. Oh, we can't stay here. We need to go. He moved towards the door, but Angel's arm caught his wrist. Remember your pledge to me. I do remember. Breathing deeply, he moved towards her. It was raining. Angel smiled. In the bus shelter. Should we go back there? No, here. There's no need. I just need to know now. I can't go back on that train without having been changed, transformed by you. Wahaj and Angel gazed at each other. Her hands were on his waist. Her lips were light on his, then stronger. He felt the energy, the power of their affection. And they were back in the bus shelter on Dog Lane, sitting on the swings in Wallsend Park in the twilight, under the silver moon, on the top deck of the 98 bus to Gateshead, at the base of the steps in the school library. Now, please, murmured Angel, now, just whisper it to me. Angel North's descent into Wallsend had caused something of a stir in the solidly Geordie press and media, which was addicted to a daily diet of chav races, pub punch-ups, or the latest Bobby Dazzler to sign up for the Magpies. Startled from their reverie, the Tyneside press pack poured into black cabs and streamed from fashionable Wallsend, with its avuncular post-war council estates, cramped Victorian workhouses, and Edwardian terraces. Journalists and TV crews gathered on the pavement of Victory Road, their lenses aimed like a firing squad towards the Academy's steel driveway gates. Portly mums with strollers chatted and vaped, while students clustered in blazer groups outside Gupta's newsagents, Wishy-Washy's laundrette, and the Codfather fish bar. Beyond the gates, the gleaming Daimler waited in the staff car park, in sharp contrast to the motley auto-jumble of third-hand Fords, Nissans, battered VW camper vans and mopeds. Angel and Wahaj emerged from the classroom and stepped into the bright corridor. Wahaj hesitated. Shouldn't we go back to Miss Starling's office to say goodbye? Angel shook her head. No, I've said that. We should go now. She grasped Wahaj's hand and urged him towards the door. Brenton marched cheerfully out of the boys' toilets, where he'd been standing on a system with his ear to the wall. Sorry, sir, you've got to marry her now. I've texted me mates. You what? Wahaj was open-mouthed. Beyond the playground they saw the gathering crowd in Victory Road. Angel held up her ring finger. Brenton wasn't impressed. Hey up, sir. That's a tight git. My mother tells them don't mark it. You were listening to a private conversation, said Wahaj, pushing open the fire door. Oh, don't worry, sir, said Brenton. I couldn't hear that much. I keep clear of that ocean of storms, though. We're going, said Wahaj. He and Angel began a fast, weaving walk through the multicoloured miscellany of staff vehicles. The door of the Daimler swung open. A smiling chauffeur in a smart grey uniform sprang to attention and opened the rear door. Angel stopped. No, Wahaj. The wind blew her hair across her face, and she smiled up at him. I want you to take me in your car. Leave the Daimler here. Oh, I wouldn't do that, miss, said Brenton. Wouldn't have no wheels left by morning. My car? Are you sure? Nay, miss. Sir's only got a hippie wagon. Nice, though. Got a big flower on it and some fairy dice. Wangel clasped Angel's hand and led her to his aged VW camper. Perfect, said Angel, surveying the hand-painted orange and yellow bodywork, as well as the travel stickers clustered in the side windows. When the door creaked open, Angel stepped up into the boho interior and settled in the canvas seat, draped with beads and a cerise throw. She closed the door and wound down the window. Brenton's cheeky face grinned up at her. I don't mind if you heard what we said, Brenton. She beamed down at the chubby boy. Anyway, I'll be back. I'll teach you to sing. Aye, thank you, miss. Fancy you'll only try that once. Wahaj appeared in the driver's seat and turned the ignition. Have a good half-term, Brenton, and keep out of trouble. Give your mum my best wishes. Yes, sir. Can I come to wedding? See you, Brenton. The van slid forward and swung towards the exit. Brenton hitched up his tie and strode stoutly in front. Hey up and sesame, he shouted to the bewildered caretaker, who promptly set about opening the gates. Thanks, Mr. Milburn. Brenton marched into the middle of Victory Road and held up his hands to the assembled photographers. Now, just wait, he shouted. You get your chance. A bus screeched to a halt, and Brenton waved the VW into the road. A salvo of clicking cameras and swinging lenses ensued. The tubby mums and raggedy dads picked up their phones to capture the moment, and hoisted infants onto their shoulders. Oh, look at them. Bless. Is that Mr. Wadger? Go on, sir. Big smackaroonie on the gob. Isn't that lovely? Wonder if they have the wedding in Wallsend. Nay, lass, don't be daft. Mr. Wadger is going to marry that Angel. Lucky bugger. I'd marry him any day. I'm fed up of you. As they drove towards the station, Radio Bliss, FM's DJ, Elvis, Feel the Heat, Purvis, was playing back-to-back hits by our local lass and rock legend, Angel North. Word has it she's come to Wallsend to rekindle an old flame, he announced, as Wahaj's battered VW van trundled into Newcastle station. A Mr. Brenton Bramwell, who knows the couple intimately, was about to be interviewed live from Wallsend Academy. Hope you enjoyed that. Nice to write something, a kind of romantic story, but I hope you enjoyed the ideas in it, above all else. There are a couple of websites listed there, visitthedreamfactory.com and johnsymes.co.uk. You'll find loads of stuff on there to help you write your own stories. And of course, the resources there are all free to use. No problem at all. We've had some great reviews. There's a couple up on screen there at the moment, and I'm really very pleased with those. But above all, I hope you enjoyed the reading, and you'll buy the book when it comes out next year. But keep looking at the Bigbury website for more TV and video, and I've got my own YouTube channel as well. But enjoy writing your own stories. Thank you very much indeed. Goodbye.